We're one day before the start of the J2 season, and I think we're in a very strong position with not a lot of money spent. On with the video. Hello everyone, Camembert Run here, and welcome back to FM24 with FC Imabari. It is the day before our first game of the J2 League season. I know in the intro I said the day before the season, but the season's already kicked off. Kicked off on the Friday. We are playing on the Sunday. So, there are some very important transfers to start off with. The first is an outgoing. Vinicius Araujo has unfortunately left us. He went to Vasco da Gama in the Brazilian First Division. I did ask him to stay, but he said that he wanted to play in a much better league. I did try and say, we've got some great kids going through. Should have just literally said to him, mate, we're about to walk J2, but there's no guarantee of that. I did at least get 2.1 million for him, so he's gone into the First Division Brazilian League. To be fair, he's already made 4 goals. 4 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist. Not the best average, but yeah. He is going to be... Oh, he's returned to Vasco da... Oh, I didn't see that. He's returned to Vasco da Gama. Okay. So, he has left us. On top of that, we've also let go of Yuma Matsumoto, Wakaba Shimaguchi, Kazuya Ando, and Takatora Kondo. Basically a bunch of players who were never good enough. So we'll start with the incomings. Park In-hyuk is the first one. He was already on the way in as a free agent. So he looks like a very, very good forward. He can also play right wing. He's got some very decent stats. I'm especially looking for a advanced forward, which is how I'm going to play him. He has great agility, acceleration, good natural fitness and pace too. He looks like he's going to be a fast, pacey striker who we can actually put through rolls too. He's already scored 1 hat-trick in pre-season. He looks like a very, very, very good buy. He's going to be an important player. He's going to be rotating regularly with Ten Miyagi. So, he's been brought in from, well, I'm going to say Jeonnam because he went down to Goyang FC in the K4 League, scored a shit ton of goals, and then he seems to have just dropped down to the 4th division for his own personal amusement, stomped the league, and now he's in the K2 League, the J2 League. So we'll see how he gets on at Imabari. Secondly, Naoya Wazato, I think I've said that right. He's going to be the backup right back to Kwano. He's only 2.5 stars at complete wing back. We can train that. It's mostly because he's better as a left winger or left mid. I don't understand how you do that. How are you better as a left midfielder and then also specialising at right back? We'll work that out. He's come in from Fujieda in the J2. He is mostly going to be a backup to Kwano. He is mostly regular starter, but I'll get on with that and I'll explain that later. Decent pace, decent stamina. At least we've got, interestingly good flair, but then I suppose that is as a left mid. But the work rate should be quite good. Aggression will be good to play at fullback as well. So he'll pretty much be a very, very good deputy. We've got a very, very exciting young player here. Or young, I say that, he's 25, but still room to improve. Tsubasa Nomura. He's been signed from Brion Vecca, I don't know how to say that exactly, in the Nippon Soccer League. He looks very good, but he looks very raw. There are some stats are much lower than others. Not liking the fact he's got only 5 bravery. He can also deputise as a deep-lying playmaker, which is kind of helpful. But I'm mostly going to be using him out on the left wing. He did want to be important, but I mean, again, the thing is that a lot of these players, if I want them to sign, I've basically had to make them the stars. But they are going to be important in their own way. Media description, defensive midfielder, I'll be playing him on the right. Does have a 2 goalkeeper rating. Then the surprise one. Ben Stevenson, signed from Portsmouth. I brought in an English player because I need somebody to talk to out here. He did want to be played as a central midfielder. I did read the promise, but then I just read deep line playmaker. I didn't see them in central midfield. So he can do both. I'm not going to switch for him. He's just going to have to cope, and we'll deal with that when it comes to about the promises. So Positioning is good, teamwork is good, composure is good, passing is good, first touch, very good stats for being a deep line playmaker. Comes in from Portsmouth for 110k. See, as you can see, he's had a pretty decent spell in the Football League. Went on loan there to Jumilia and Spanish fucking... Looks like Spanish 4th division. It says 2nd division, but, you know. He looks like a very good player. He's basically supposed to be sort of a little upgrade from Paul Doyle, because Doyle is only 3 stars at this league. But he is basically going to be a star player. He's going to start nearly every single game by the Cups, by him getting injured. Sergio Muira, I think I already mentioned this a couple while back. He's coming in as a left back. He is going to be playing complete wing back. We're going to train that into him. I already adjusted the training. He has decent enough stats. Comes in from Ventford Kofu on a free. He is going to be probably going to be the starter. I do need to find another left back. I've kind of got the depth in all the positions. I need bar getting a second left back. I've effectively got 22 players registered. The only difference is that I have an overload at winger, if that makes sense. I've got no, yeah. No, I think it's centre back. So then we have Takumi Nagora. He's not great, but he's basically just going to deputise for Aquino. I'm not really expecting huge things on him. He's going to come in on as a sub, or come in after like midweek games for Aquino. So we've got that extra. He can also play as a attacking mid, but I'm not going to use him there. Decent. The thing is, he's got 16 jumping reach, right? But he's only got 8 heading. So he can jump really high, but he can't actually do anything in the air. Kind of just hovers there. But we'll see what we do. I might see if I can train him in heading. Because he specialises as a wide target forward, but that's not how I'm going to use him. He's going to be my winger on attack. So we'll see if we can train that shit into, if actually we can do that now. There we go. Additional focus. What is this finishing? Crap. Okay, yeah, so we'll do finishing. Right, we'll see if we can get him to actually score goals. Okay, that'll be fine. So, yeah, Takumi Nagora, basically Okino's deputy. And then to finish it off, we have Kimiya Moriyama, brought in on loan from Avispa Fukuoka. He looks really good. I'm going to be using him as central defender and putting Futami to ball-playing defender. Mostly because I don't know whether I can fully trust Okamoto. In defence, he's got full 3 stars, potentially up to 4 stars. Looks very decent. He was on loan at Yamaguchi last season. 23 appearances, averaging 6.7. Bet hasn't actually played for Fukuoka ever. I think if he does well enough, I might try and sign him at the end of the season, because I can probably spend 1 million on him. So, get rid of that. So, I think I've done quite well. I've brought in 2.1 million. I've literally spent less than half of that. So, I've basically made a net profit. So, compare that to last season, I spent 2.3 and only brought in 925k. I was looking for mostly free agents and very low fee players. And when you look at some of the stats, 95k, potentially rising to 115 for Nomura. That was the most I spent, was 140k on Wazato. 90k on Nagora, free, loan, but paying 45k. £5,000 a month, because it was the only way I could really get him. I'm only paying 20% of his wages as well. So we kick off against Yamaguchi and then play Nagasaki. So if we go to the preview, we are previewed to snap the last playoff space. But I don't think we will, honestly. I mean, we've got top of the league expected to walk it are Nagoya Grampus. They're relegated from J1 last year. They're still a very, very strong squad. So they are. I would say they are most likely going to walk the league, much like we did last season. And as for the rest of it, so we'd be behind Makita Zalvia, Tokyo Verdy, Vivaran Nagasaki, FC Chiba, and then us. See, I'm more looking towards 7th to 10th. I can't see us finishing above Vegalta Sendai. Then you've got some other strong teams like Mito Hollyhock and FC, or I think that's Oita Trinita. I think Akita Plasma don't look good. And then predicted finish bottom are Hime FC, who came up with us. They are predicted finish dead last. As well as that, we also now have the Japanese League Cup. It seems that Sports Interactive made a note of the change that was coming up this season in Japan, where they're switching the Japanese League Cup from a group stage format to a round robin format, though it is over 2 legs. We've been drawn against FC Kumamoto, or Roasso Kumamoto, in the J2 League. So we'll be playing up against them in a 2-legged tie. That will be, one of them is in the midweek, one of them is on the weekend. There we go. It's in March. So we have Yamaguchi, Nagasaki, Yamagata, Tokyo Verdy, and Okayama as our first 5 fixtures. Then we've got Kumamoto in the first League Cup second leg, and then first round second leg. Yeah, the first leg is on the 6th of the 3rd. Second leg is on the 23rd of the 3rd, so Wednesday and a Saturday. We don't play Nagoya until the May, and then I think we face them again face them again in the October. We finish off against Ehime FC in Oita, Trinita. So I would say we're not going to finish in the playoffs. I think we'll just finish just outside them. I'm more looking towards 2025 to get the playoffs, potentially try and get straight up promoted. So, when you look at... Alright, what's the... Now, here's the question. So, you have these 3 relegation spots, right? Ideally, 3 teams get relegated. But, if I go down... they've already played as well. So, if I go down to the J2 League, a lot of it will depend. If we were to get promoted, would we get a license to the J1 League? I know you need a license to play top-level football. Fine, I'm from the UK, we're very adept at licenses here. Although I don't know if I've updated my license to say that. Yes, but yeah, you need a license to be able to play J-League football. You need a license to play J2. Imabari, you already got that in 2022, but you need a license to be able to play League 1, J1 League football as well. So even if we get into the playoffs, we can get into promotion places, there's no guarantee we go up because we can't get a license. We can't play in the top level. There's already concerns because obviously we're moving into a new stadium. We'd have to rent, which we're renting out. Because our old stadium doesn't have the capacity. So I don't know what the criteria is to get a J1 license, but we'll just have to get there towards the end of the season. I'm more looking to stay in the league. This is the team I will be starting with. Ito, Muira, Moriyama, Futami, Kawano, Okino, Okamura, Stevenson, Nishizawa, Dohi, and Miyagi. I think the players I'm looking to step up for this season are Okamura, Dohi, and Miyagi. Miyagi especially because he's supposed to be about this level. So that would be very, very useful. Nishizawa, I'm fully confident will make the step up. Same with Kodai Dohi, but I think he will probably cap out at 3 stars, which is fine. He already looks like a pretty decent player. For Tommy, I think probably this will be his last season. He is 32, and then I will look to replace him. I'm probably going to make Moriyama a permanent signing if he plays well enough. And then we're looking probably over the next season. I'm looking too far ahead. Alright, so one of them is basically going to have to try and get to 3 stars by the end of this season. And it might not be Kawano. So we're just going to have to see. I'm probably going to keep Park In-hyuk and Park Chang-jun as the backups between Miyagi and Doi. They'll be rotating regularly, though. I think part of that obviously partly because they're both Korean. But, Park Chang-jun especially should be okay at this level. Park In-hyuk, I'm expecting some very good things from. Shosei Okamoto, we'll have to see how he gets on. He is only 23. I do want to try between Futami and Okamoto, and then there's a ton of players I don't think I'm going to be able to really deal with. Hayato Terayama is also here. I don't think he's going to be very good as a centre-back at this level. The only other thing I need to be careful of is that I do now have 5 foreign players. I think for now we'll keep Cervantes out of the squad. I can only have 4 in there, because the 5 are Stevenson, Park In-hyuk, Park Chang-jun, Doyle, and Cervantes. Alright, I don't think Park Chang-jun is going to make the first game of the season. Yeah, 4 days. Alright, that's shame, but there we go. So I'm obviously with terms of playing time, I'm assuming people will get injuries. So we are going to be able to get it. I think there's not that many midweek fixtures. Oh, there's quite a few. Oh. We're playing every midweek between now up until the game against Chiba. Oh boy. Good thing, I've got 2 whole teams to rotate round, so that'll be fine. At least I know it's Sunday, Wednesday, so it's basically 2 days, 3 day, yeah. 2 day, 3 day breaks. So, yeah, I'll be fine. I've got teams that I can manage. I've got enough players to switch around, and then we drove up more into a midweek. Yeah, that's fine. It's just a very hectic start. I suppose that makes sense because there's not 20 teams here. There's there's 20 teams. What am I thinking of? I just one last time I looked at those 20. Hang on. I'll do something weird here. Yeah. They've cut 2 teams off the league. Huh. I guess that's a change they're making. All right. Well then. Does that mean there's some places? Yeah. They've basically expanded 2 places and they've basically leveled it out. So last season in the J2, 4 teams went up. Or 3 teams. So it was Iwata, Shizumu, and Venfred Kofu. So we go to the J1. They've now got 20 teams with Kofu, Shizumu, and Iwata in the league. And then only 1 has gone down. So that's now balanced out. So now there's 22 teams there. Where you see the 2 relegation spots. And there's only 20 here. So that includes us. Alright, that's okay. They've balanced out the league now. Alright. So that makes 60 professional teams, plus they want to apparently get 100 professional teams by the end of the year 2030, I think it is. Because they actually want 4 full professional leagues. So they need another 20 teams and they can officially get 4 leagues. I know that in England we do it a little bit weird because there's 92, so we've only got, I think it's 22 in 24 in League 1. There's 20 in the Championship, 20 in the Premier League, 24 in League 1, and then I can go and look actually. I think it's 22 in League 2. No, it's 24. Because all the fucking football leagues are still going on in England. I'm waffling. But yeah, anyway, we're going to kick off tomorrow on Monday. On Monday's episode will be the kickoff against Yamaguchi and then playing Vivara and Nagasaki. I think we've got a good chance of finishing top half, definitely. That's what we're aiming for. I'd say anywhere between 7th and 10th. I don't think we'll get the playoffs. We might be able to squeeze it. But I think the more important part before we even try and get promoted is to get a hold of a J1 license. Because there's no point getting promoted and then getting turned down because you don't have your bloody license. So, I will be back on the Monday with that kickoff episode at the start of the J2 League season. In the meantime, do check out my one season wonder on West Ham. Do feel free to check out this series from episode 1. It was very, very fun to play through J3 League season because we did basically walk it. I expect J2 to be much tougher, but I put us in a very, very strong position. I will look at bringing in a second left back just to make sure we're completely balanced. But anyway, Oh fuck, I hear the ice cream machine, I've got to go. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like. If you want to see more, you can always subscribe. I've been Campbell Run, and thank you for watching.